this is why I'm doing this. It brings me so much joy. Everything's created with intention, and be able to share that, all my crazy, weird recipes, like with people like yourself. It's amazing. Healthy food does not need to be boring.
No, not
It can
at
be
all.
sexy and delicious.
Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. What's up, people? I am so excited about my wonderful guest today on Black Belt Beauty Radio, Amber Caudill. Amber is an incredible chef. She really specializes in foods that nourish the body. And she's the owner of the Source Cafe, one of my most favorite go-to spots to eat at in the South Bay, Los Angeles, California. And why I wanted to have a conversation with Amber, first of all, because she's just a wonderful human. She's authentic in her whole process. I think it's very easy to detect that as well. If you ever taste Amber's food, you feel the love and the intention, created within it. And, I've known her for a while now, and it's fun to witness her evolution and how she's just continuously creating foods that just are not just healthy. They're absolutely nourishing to the system. They are, created to invigorate your most optimal performance. And that's what they do. I mean, I'm very picky about where I eat. Anybody who knows me knows that. And it's like, it's non-negotiable for me. That's the thing. Like, I eat where I eat, and if it doesn't qualify to my standards, which is, 100% organic, non-GMO. I know that sounds gnarly, but whatever, that's my standard. And, I just won't eat there. But gratefully, I got Amber's spot to enjoy when I'm not eating in my own kitchen. And I really wanted to capture, what makes Amber Amber, and why is it that she's so inspired to create foods like this for all of us to enjoy. So I hope that you enjoy this conversation with her. I think that it's really important for people like her to be known, to be heard, because there's a ripple effect. And I'm really, really interested in ripple effect. It's like, it's these small gestures that make a large impact. And maybe you don't feel it or witness it right away, but it's totally happening. So, the great example, when you're eating foods that make you feel good and you're walking around and you're performing good and you're feeling good, that's energy that you're sending out into the world. We are conductors of energy. It's very logical to me that, when you feel good, you're going to radiate good. And then that's, going to affect the people that you encounter on a day-to-day basis. So, not only is there direct impact in the immediate in our systems by eating foods such as the ones that Amber creates, but also there's this long-term ripple effect, that takes place too. That's beyond just us, what we get to feel. So Amber's rad. I am so excited because I know that I have so much to do with this woman. We're very aligned when it comes to, health and taking care of ourselves, our process in that way. So follow her on Instagram. Her account is awesome. It'll make you hungry. But she has a rad blog. Her Instagram is Chef Amber LA. So without further ado, I'm really excited to dive deep into the mindset, process, and the heart of the wonderful Chef Amber Caudill.
Cool. Okay, so should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm so excited. Okay. Amber, I'm so stoked to have you on Black Belt Beauty Radio. I have so much gratitude for you. I think people like you are so important to the world. I feel like healthy food has been such a kind of like this kind people think of it and think, or in the past more so, like it's this boring kind of, I gotta eat healthy kind of thing, right? And I think that there is this redefining happening when it comes to healthy food, where it's becoming more exciting. It's becoming more kind of in vogue even, right?
It is.
And I can say that, for as long as I've known you, which has been several years now, you've been on the leading edge with it. And so...
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank
so
you.
Exciting.
It's such a mutual
exciting.
benefit. I do want to say, before we get into your background and, what you've got going on now, is one of the things that I love about your food is that you truly approach it from not only a place of pure love and passion, but true nourishment. And what I mean by that is, you don't serve just a healthy salad with some greens and maybe some avocado because salads are healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny how I describe your food to people. I'm like, she'll just put some algae with this special mushroom and this salt from Jerusalem. Like, I'm making this up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I love it. Yes.
And because food is a science to me.
Well, I was about to say, I feel like a scientist in the kitchen.
Because you totally are, right? I mean, and that's how I approach my diet. It's very... much from a scientific approach that is intended towards longevity and optimal performance.
Yes.
And I know that, your recipes, it's like you're targeting specific things in the body, from fiber to essential fatty acids to, vitamins and, proteins. You're hitting all those things with your recipes, being sugarless and just...
Exactly.
It's so nourishing and it's so good and it's so exciting. And I'm so grateful that I get to walk to your... like, it's honestly, I don't think I could ever move from where I live, because what would I do without your food?
Thank you. Well, it brings me so much joy. This is why I'm doing this. It brings me so much joy. Everything's created with intention, and be able to share that, all my crazy, weird recipes, like with people like yourself. It's amazing. Healthy food does not need to be boring.
No, not
it can
at
be
all.
Sexy and delicious.
Totally.
And like I said, everything I do is made with intention.
Yeah, well, it's felt, and I can't wait for you to be able to hopefully just, produce more to where like more of the world can experience it, because I think it's so important.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to kind of backtrack and get into, young Amber and, just tell our listeners some of your background and, maybe your relationship to food when you were younger and how you've kind of come to be.
Okay. All right. Wow. So, hi everyone. So I'm 41, and I can't remember a time in my life where I wasn't obsessed with food. I remember at a very small age wanting to cook in the kitchen with my grandma around 4 and 5, and then I was always in charge of family meals at age 8, and even books. And even as a little kid, every single book I picked up that had like a description of food or pies, I would have to like reread it. And I knew in high school, definitely I wanted to become a chef. And I'm one of the lucky ones that I've always known what I've wanted to do. It's always been a calling for me. And so there was never a doubt in my mind that I wasn't ever going to be a chef. And so I started to go to cooking classes early in life. But I also developed a little bit of an unhealthy relationship with food also early in life.
Really?
So I abused food. I used it as comfort, especially sugar. I used to really dive into the sugar for happy events, sad events, anything in life. I mean, sugar was my best friend. So part of my story too in my journey with food and how Source was eventually opened 5 years ago is my sugar addiction. If I didn't have to go, and that's a whole probably other podcast.
Yeah.
But because of my my eating disorder and my sugar addiction and the health challenges that created, that desperation to change drove me to open up the Source. But before the Source, I went to a apprentice in Southern Colorado and had southern Italian training. So my background and heart is Northern Spanish and Southern Italian, and moved here 17 years ago to open up Mediterraneo on the pier.
Here we're in South
Hermosa
California.
Beach, yeah.
Yes.
And so opened up Mediterraneo and ran that.
It's gonna happen.
Was operating partner there, and that was heavy duty tapas, Mediterranean food, still healthy. But towards the end of that career, I started to suffer with inflammation and chronic fatigue and my adrenals were blown out and stress, and it was just a late toxic atmosphere for a chef. And my passion started to shift towards how can I feel better and heal myself with food, because at Mediterraneo, I had a hip surgery, a hip scope.
Oh, wow.
And after that first hip scope, I remember saying, the doctors, of course, wanted to give me another hip scope on my other hip. And I refused. I said, I want to heal myself with food. Universe, show me the way.
Yeah.
And so from that journey, I started to make the turmeric tonic, which is at the source now, and slinging it out of the back of Mediterraneo to my customers. Seriously, people were losing weight, getting off their anti-inflammatory medicine. I mean, it was amazing. And I was like, God, show me the next step. And so that's like a very fast version of how the Source was born.
So just so our listeners know, you are the owner of the Source
Yes, the Source Cafe.
in Hermosa Beach.
And we just hit our 5-year anniversary just this last week.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So grateful.
Yeah,
I feel so grateful and blessed.
So one of the things we were kind of talking about a little bit before we started hitting record is, as a longtime resident of Hermosa Beach, where it's essentially where I come from, I knew of the 2 restaurants that were before the Source, basically 2 other health food spots, and they definitely had some good quality healthy foods. There was no soul when you walked in there, though. There wasn't. When you walk in the Source, you definitely feel an energy, a camaraderie, a vibe. I mean, your employees are truly happy. I love them all. I think they all know that. And it really, I think it's such a statement to who you are as, kind of Mama Source and as a businesswoman, because, it's one thing to be able to be providing this, what I call a very talented menu.
Yes.
That's super nourishing and, on the leading edge of health food. But then to also cultivate such a beautiful, healthy environment within your employees. And that's, it all works together.
It does. It's all synergy. Yeah. I mean, you can have the best food in the world, but if you walk in and the energy's horrible, I mean, it doesn't work. And some of the best compliments I get are customers and like yourself that walk in and be like, oh my God, we just love the energy. How did you create the energy? And I just think that is a hard thing to bottle up, and that's a hard one. And
how did you create? So I know we're going to bounce around a lot. So
I know.
Gemini, double Geminis.
We've honestly got like 4 Geminis in the room right now between Roxy and I.
It's true.
It is.
So hopefully you guys can all dance with us, because we're about to be all over the place. But can you talk about that a little bit? How do you approach that? Basically creating this energy and this camaraderie that is so easily felt in your business at the Source.
So I think for me, I learned some really hard lessons, and I was shown through my career as a chef and through the restaurant business since I've been 15 of how I don't want to run a business. And I have worked for many wonderful people, but it was miserable. I've had some very miserable times and treated like crap. And I decided I'm never going to treat my employees like that. And I feel like I treat them how they treat me. That was the first way. And I feel like they take care of me, but I take care of them, and it's all respectful. And I'm also very open with them. If there's a problem, we deal with it at that very moment. I'm very authentic. I show my vulnerability to them. I cry. I'll even go in and say, hey guys, I'm at a level 10 right now. When I was opening up the Source, working 80 hours a week, I'd go and be like, guys, I'm at a 10 today. I'm definitely going to cry on the register. I mean, why hide it? Because if I hid it and I wasn't honest with them, I probably would have screamed and then regretted something.
Yeah.
I feel like also, I worked my butt off. I wasn't just in there bossing people around. I was down on the floor, scrubbing the floor. I was in it with them.
That's a real leader.
That was something that some of my past leaders did not do. I was, they were like, do this, do that. And I just was like, no, I want to lead by example. And then I believe really strongly in core values. And so we make a list and we go over them and we kind of talk about them. And that's really, and if somebody, for instance, shows up late, it's not like, okay, you're fired or you're written up. It's like, hey, you believe in integrity. That was one of our core values. How is this showing up in your life now by you being late, and how is this affecting the team? And so talking through stuff like that. But I also think too, my staff, they're so freaking amazing. They want to be there. Of course, we all have to make money and clock in, but they're so passionate and driven to be there too, that it does show, like you said.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that, people do not work at the source that want to just slop a salad in the bowl. Those people have not made it. I mean, these guys take their care, they take their time and care, and you can feel the love. And I always remind them, this is not me growing by myself. This is all of us growing together. This is not just my business. This is all of us. And I think that empowering the employees also, they're going to make mistakes, but at the end of the day, it's not the end. The world's not going to end. We'll find a solution and we'll move forward.
Yeah, because everyone's in their own journey of learning and growing. So of course, mistakes will be made on in everyone's process, but it's that teamwork and how you work together.
And allowing people, empowering people it's so amazing, because again, I've worked for people that have never allowed myself to shine and empower myself. So yeah, it's pretty, I mean, like I said, they take care of me, I take care of them. It's a two-way thing, and it's I'm so great. I'm so blessed.
Well, we can tell as, people who come into the source to eat there, that it's not just, you're not just creating food that's nourishing, but you're definitely, nourishing your employees, and and they're putting that vibe out
Exactly.
so easily.
And they're so proud too. So I think that, they're just so proud. It's amazing. Like, they're just so, like, I'm like, be proud of your work. You're a part of this. This is awesome.
It's super special.
Like, we change people's lives every day. It brings us so much joy. Kids that have never had a gluten-free cookie before, moms with autistic children that can't eat. I mean, I've had dozens and dozens and dozens of emails and thank yous. And that is why I'm doing it. That brings me so much joy, People like me that have a gazillion things I can't eat, and the no sugar and then this and that, and I can create a yummy pudding or a brownie and can eat that. It makes me so freaking excited to combine the craziest ingredients and make it look. In fact, I have something here today that's kind of weird. I was like, Roxy's coming over. She'll eat it for sure.
I'm so excited because I have an idea actually that I'll talk to you about after this, but that's perfect. Of course you would. So funny random thought really quick is, I go into the bathroom, we're getting ready to do this podcast, and I'm looking around and I see the products, and, it's funny because your house is a house that I could spend the night in. And I'm sure you know what that means.
Yeah, it's because the apple cider vinegar and
You've got everything.
I've got everything.
I walk into your house and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to see your kitchen. You're like, well, it's not the Chef Norm kitchen. I'm like, no, the ingredients.
Right.
I feel that, food, like I said, for me personally, I approach food as from a very kind of scientific approach. So I study the body. I'm a biology geek, right? So I study the body from a cellular level, nutrigenomics, right? How is diet and lifestyle affecting our genes?
Yeah.
And then we can go into epigenetics and all that. And so, when I'm in the kitchen cooking, I feel like a fucking alchemist.
Yeah.
Straight up. And
so fun.
It's that you are doing that. So you're totally an alchemist.
I am. I get off on it when I find when a potion just works. I'm like, damn, that was good. It's like, this was so exciting. This was so magical. What just happened? But I feel that's where my spirituality comes in. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm creating. All of a sudden, I'm just creating. I'm in the flow. I'm just in the flow and creating. I'm just like, woo.
Well, because you're such an artist, period. I mean, and I think that food is just, it's a medium for you, right? And
100%.
And it's such a beautiful one, and it's such an offering to the world. So, like I said, I feel like you're so important. So, to go back really quick to childhood, I think it's rad that you knew, right away or, early on that you wanted to be a chef, because, I definitely was like, I remember the first time in high school when they come, whoever they were, I don't remember, but like, what do you want to do when you graduate? I'm like, and I'm a surfer. I'm like, I'd be a lifeguard? Like, I had no idea at all. So I think it's really rad when people do get that insight at such a young age. Do you remember, was there anything that kind of really stood out? I know you mentioned like you'd get into books and kind of know, but what was your favorite kind of food when you were younger?
I started getting into seafood. I remember seafood was really exciting, which was weird for like a 7 and 8 year old. That's
pretty sophisticated.
It was sophisticated, and I would want I was really obsessed with like fruit salsas at a young age and like seared fish, right? And then I got into kitchen with my grandma and started baking actually, and that's where the pumpkin bread and pies with her and roasting meats. But I have to say that when I knew my mom started to find me garnishing the plates and wiping the edges of the plates at like 10, 11, and 12, right?
Really?
So I'm not going to just like slop spaghetti on a plate, right? I'm going to make sure that the edges,
It was all pretty.
Everything had to be pretty. It was like my painting. And both of my parents are artistic. My dad's a photographer, so they get it, and they're hippies and free flowing spirits. So they encouraged me and sent me to a little teeny culinary training at I don't know, I was young, I was like 12.
Oh, wow.
And
really?
I remember I knew from an early age though, Roxy, that I definitely wasn't a baker, because the baker, there's a difference between baking. It's very meticulous, and I'm such a free flowing, crazy Gemini that I was like, oh, I'm not following a recipe. Do not even give me a measuring cup. It's a joke in the kitchen with my business partner. She's our baker, and she's like, Chef, did you measure that? Because I'll like help her. She's like, Chef, did you measure that? I'm like, no, friend, I didn't. And, and I was like, I have such a hard time with it. So I knew that from an early age, that I wasn't going to go to like the French culinary baking route. So I knew that.
That's cool. That's helpful.
Yeah.
It's funny. There is a scientist that I love, Dr. Andy Galpin, and he's in the sport world, and he talks about how people, how we are with our diets. You have the baker, you have the cook, and then you have the chef.
Yes.
And it's the coolest analogy, and I don't want to chop it up in the wrong way, but essentially, a baker is very specific.
Very.
You can't do a little bit of this and do a little bit of that. Like, everything needs to be precise.
Yes.
Whereas a cook can be like, let me try a little of this. I'm definitely the cook too, right? And the chef is someone who could do it all. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's how he, it's a little bit different, and when you hear him explain it, especially in the realm of how he was talking, it's so cool. But I'm the same way. But funny though, that being said, one of the things that I'm not a big dessert person, because again, like sugar is, I don't eat sugar, outside of natural sugars that come from fruit, or maybe the occasional coconut sugar or honey, maybe maple syrup. But even that is super limited, just because I'm very, mindful about the glycemic index and all that. But I am so liberated that when it's time for me to have a dessert,
you can indulge.
I get to come to your spot, and I don't just have two choices. This boring little There's all kinds of radical shit in there where you're like, what? What's this blue algae ball of collagen? And
it's my favorite.
And it tastes so good.
And honestly, those creations for me come to what I can eat. Yeah. So I'm determined, because I have thyroid issues and hormonal issues. So I have foods that I just don't eat, and I don't eat sugar, and so that's what pushes my creativity. It's like, okay, that my best or my funnest challenges is give me a box of ingredients that are really random and a diet that's very limited, and let me try to make you feel satiated and excited, because I have people all the time that are like, this is my diet, this is what my doctor said I can't eat. It will be a list of like 30 things that they can't eat. Right. They're like, please design something for me. And that's where I'm like the pudding I have in my fridge is made, there's no fruit or sugar. It's made out of cauliflower, cauliflower and pumpkin, and it's got baru nuts on top, and it's got rock pecan slices and maca root. It's a pudding, and it's like, all it is protein, and it's got healthy fats. It's a superfood, and it makes you feel so good. And I'm like so excited. Now, it's not for everyone. Like if it's a person that really eats sweets, I took it to somebody last night, and they were like, this is interesting. But for people like us that, we're in it. Like it's such a dream. And that's when I get off on it. Like, it makes me so excited to create that. And then other people are like, oh my God, can you make more of that? And I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm so excited to try. I want to talk about, and I know it's probably a big subject, and I know that you and I will have many more conversations, but you just said something how, maybe people who do eat sugar and aren't necessarily so deeply submerged in this, kind of healthy, exotic food menu that we, eat every day. Because I often wonder this myself, like, it might taste really good to me, but maybe to someone who doesn't eat, have my taste buds, maybe it's a little like, it tastes healthy, quote unquote. Right. When you decided that you were going to quit sugar, what was that process like for you? And really, like, why? Obviously I'm sure you knew that it wasn't good for you, but what was the real driver to say, enough's enough, and I gotta quit this.
This is a whole other podcast also.
Okay.
And but I will tell you. So for my sugar, it was definitely a sugar addiction. I mean, just like any other addiction in the world. And I was letting sugar run and rule my life, and I had no self-love. And this was 3 years ago when almost I quit sugar, and I like hated myself, and I just felt awful. And also I had like a ton of health problems, and I had lost my period. I mean, the list is really, really long.
So it affected your hormones.
It affected everything, my leptin, my hormones. And yes, of course, the vanity of the weight and everything, but it was like mental fog and everything. And I just honestly, I was desperate enough to make the change, and I wanted so much to feel better more than the need to eat sugar. And honestly, it was a spiritual practice for me to stop. Like, I just was like, you know what? I want to love myself. I want to feel good in my body. I want to improve my health. I want to feel better. God help me. And basically one day at a time. I mean, I just know for me, it was, it ruled my life. It was like a major thing. And now I do not eat any sugar. I don't even eat maple or coconut sugar or honey. I just do coconut water and fruit and the occasional organic glass of wine or tequila. But it's just, so that's like but yeah, I think for me, it just now that but it's a spiritual practice for me. It's like faith, wanting to feel better and caring and developing that self-love and faith that like, oh my God, I love myself and I feel so good.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think that I'm a big advocate of, our body IQ, right? And I think some people have a sense of, and what I mean by that really is like just that connectivity that we have to our body.
Yeah.
There's a compass inside of us.
And 100%.
I think that there are people who are highly sensitive to it and, respond to it. People that don't have that sensitivity, maybe because of their current diet and not just diet, also like, lifestyle, maybe.
People are so used to walking around feeling sick. It's the norm.
Yeah.
I'm bloated. I'm gassy. I had really bad gas tonight. It's like, hey, that's your body in a very subtle way. That's an easy way of maybe you're eating something that you shouldn't be eating. It's not normal to walk around gassy and bloated all day long. I have headaches. I have migraines every single day. And that was me for a while. I was like, I'm tired of it. Yeah. And now I'm uber sensitive. Just like you said, like my voice, I know that this is a sign that I'm overdoing it. I'm losing my voice right now. And my body's like, hey, slow it down. I mean, little teeny things now. Well, I'll eat at the wrong restaurant and they'll use a wrong oil and I'll come home and I'm like, I feel like I have a hangover from like a canola oil. That's how sensitive my body is.
Yeah.
So sensitive. And then it will affect my bowel movements, which that's a whole other podcast. And
seriously. It's such a legit topic though.
It really is.
God. Yeah, no, it's so true. And so so people, just on the topic of body IQ, there's all kinds of diets out there, right? And I find that diets these days tend to be so tribal.
Yeah.
I'm vegan. I'm vegetarian. I'm paleo. I'm this and I'm that. And you know what? To each his own. Like, wherever you feel your most, your healthiest, your happiest, your most empowered, great.
Exactly.
I'm also a believer that our bodies, we're constantly transitioning in life. We are constantly changing. So personally, I don't eat meat. I eat, wild fish and I eat organic eggs, but that's my only source of animal protein. If I woke up tomorrow and my body, was asking me for meat. I have this super sensitive connectivity to where I know, this is not an emotional kind of random thing.
Right.
This is something in my body saying, hey, you need, maybe it's the iron or the B vitamins or something. So I would just find a very, ethically sourced, clean piece of meat and I would get after it.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to so going back to the sugar thing, I think it's so powerful that you felt that desire of, I want to feel good.
Yeah.
And, you had that sensitivity to your body. And even beyond that, I think is so special is that you took action to make it happen. How did that feel in those can you kind of walk us through? Because I feel like a lot of people, sugar's a problem.
Sugar's a problem. And I hear people say, oh, well, I just want to do no sugar the first month of January. It's like, but then people go back to their old ways. Even now at the source, I have customers come in and say, I'm just eating so much sugar this month. And it's like, we can have the balance. We don't have to throw it all out the window because it's the holidays. But when I let go, what was your question? When I let go of
just
sugar?
the process, like, so if you could talk about maybe, how your body felt even within the first couple of weeks and, the struggles within that, like when you would feel the urge, what would you do to kind of stay on the path?
I feel like I definitely had to go through a detox. Sugar is a major stimulant. I felt like crap. So I did take it easy in terms of like exercise. I knew it was going to be like a pretty big gnarly detox. Let's see. Besides that was like probably the biggest struggle when I was doing the craving. That's where my spiritual practice came in. It's like I'm searching now for something to feed something in me that I don't need, like meaning I don't really need that cookie right now. I'm feeling emotionally in an uncomfortable place or feeling stressed or sad or lonely. And so now I'm looking for a substance to stuff that hole versus being spiritually connected. And so it was very spiritual for me. I really had to get down on my knees and be like, and plus I needed to look at myself. What am I trying to quote stuff? Like, why am I wanting to stuff emotionally eat right now? What in your life, Amber, do you need to take on head on?
So you had this self-talk with, when you felt the cravings.
Pretty much.
You would and I think one thing that I am registering is that you were really honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And calling yourself out. Like, what is this about? And then the other part that I picked up on that, which I think could be really cool for people who maybe do want to quit sugar, is you attached it to something bigger.
Yeah.
You put it in this realm of spirituality for you. So it was much more than, I just can't have this.
Right. It wasn't a diet. It was a lot. And also I kept reminding myself of the desperation for change and realizing how sick my body was. I was in so much pain, Roxy. I was overweight. I had adrenal fatigue. I had candida. I was looking at another surgery. I had lost my period for 3 years. My cortisol levels, I was not okay. I was not good. And I was like, Amber, you're slowly going to kind of deteriorate your body with sugar.
Yeah.
So I think people have different levels of the sugar thing. I think that some people can eat it in balance. I choose not to because it just might be too much of a trigger and I'm not willing to go back there. But I want to feel good, and I just want to feel good, and that need to feel good over the sugar is it. And also not having that diet mentality. And that's why I'm creating some more desserty kind of things right now, because I do crave that kind of stuff every once in a while. I want like a sweet treat. And so I have like a fudge right now made with dates at the source. And
I love it.
It's sweet. It tastes like the real deal to me. It's amazing.
Yeah, totally.
Right. But I think that, but that's like just an okay craving to have. That's not me wanting to like emotionally stuff my face with.
No. And obviously dates, you're going to get vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, exactly.
And, fiber. And so it's this nourishing approach. What I love too is that I think that a lot of times, there's this people, like, for example, we're coming up to New Year's, right?
Yep.
So what happens after New Year's? Everyone's like, okay, I'm going to quit this. I'm going to get in the best shape.
It's our busiest month. Everybody turns paleo and
oh, really?
Oh yeah, and we do juice cleanses, which is fine. I'm glad to be there for people to help them get through that New Year's hump. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with a friend about this the other day. She's like, it's a holiday, so I'm not even going to try now because I just know.
Exactly.
And I said to her, I said, I understand that, because she goes, I'm all or nothing, you know, so I got to just quit everything. And I said, here's the thing, quitting even just if we're going to focus on weight loss, it's easy to lose weight. Yeah. It's not easy to keep it off.
It's not easy to keep it off.
So one thing that I'm so curious, because I feel like we're going to be very aligned here. My approach to my diet is never about what I can't have. And I should say that, I don't have these kind of cravings of like, I don't want French fries. Yeah. I don't want these sugar things, because it's just, it hasn't been a part of my diet for beyond a decade now. Yeah. So my taste buds I don't crave it. But how I think of my diet is more of what my body needs. So for example, it's 4:00, not literally right now, but just it's 4:00 in the day. I think about, okay, what else does my body need to function optimally?
Absolutely.
That I haven't given it yet today? Did I eat my blueberries yet? How much fiber have I given myself?
How much fat? Have I had an avocado?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and so it's more of this approach of like, not subtracting, but kind of adding. So I was telling my friend who I had this conversation with the other day, even though, you're going to get hardcore at the start of New Year, you can start putting pennies in the bank right now. Which
little
is
baby steps right now.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to be we do not have to throw it out the window. I mean, I just want to use an example that I went, I threw a part for our 5-year anniversary and holiday party. And I had a couple drinks. I had some of my gluten pasta that was organic. I had some dairy. I never eat that stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't stress about it.
Right.
But I don't have to eat like that every single day just because it's December. But then the next couple days, I like to go plant-based and do more liquid meals. I just did a blog on that. So that for me works. I love meat, but I don't need to eat meat every day. So there's balance you can do. And like tonight, I know I'm going to have bison because I'm craving it. I'm feeling a little run down from my exercise. So I'm going to have bison. And it's intuitive eating is so hard, but once you get there...
Can you describe what that is for people who don't know?
So intuitive eating is really, really, really tuning in and listening to your body about what your body needs. And you know what? It might be that you need some yogurt today and bison tomorrow and plant-based the next day. And, I know when I'm low in iron and I need something, or I know when I need a little raw cacao that I know that my magnesium is low. Right. That kind of stuff. I think it takes time to distinguish between restricting dieting and intuitive eating. I think that gets jumbled for people sometimes. Sure. It doesn't mean intuitive eating I can go out and eat whatever I want anytime. Like, ooh, that cookie looks good. I'm just going to eat it.
It's not emotional.
It's not emotional. It's like, oh wait, I know I just had a strong workout, so I know I'm going to have some complex starch after my workout, or I know I'm going to have some extra fat at night because I'm feeling depleted, or maybe I want to do an intermittent fasting, meaning I'm going to eat at 4 p.m. my dinner and not eat till 10 or 11 the next day and be liquid just because it feels good and just feels good.
I'm a big intermittent fasting person.
I love it. Obsessed.
I'm
Obsessed.
a 16-hour on or off. Sorry. And I find that, how do I say this? It makes me feel, so it's hard socially sometimes, right? Because
it's very hard socially because people are like, why do you eat dinner at 4 p.m.?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you like that old now? And I was like, it's real. I'm eating right now.
Well, it's easier in the winter because it gets dark earlier. And I personally am like, I'm out bed 9 o'clock. I'm like, good night, world. But I really do love intermittent fasting. I love kind of, biohacking. And I think that's the biology geek in me, is just this constant, search for ways to just optimize more. And I don't get too crazy with it. I think that, I don't know. It's just, I like to kind of be very natural about it. So
I don't do it every day. Like you said, it's not very social. I can't go on a date and be like, hey, I'm at an 8 p.m. date and I just already ate my dinner. No, it's not an everyday thing. But when you can do it, do it.
Yeah. Well, and just biohacking in general, I feel like because I listen to so many dope biohackers who are just, I love it because they present new and exciting things, and some of which, I will try and implement in my own process, and then other things I don't feel a connection to. But again, that's like the body IQ thing. That actually bridges me to what, outside of intermittent fasting, what are you into right now in the kind of biohacking wellness space?
I have so much, because I believe that before we were talking about it's not just about the food to stay connected and be aligned with our bodies. I believe mind, body, and soul and everything. So right now for me, yes, I've got the food and I exercise and I drink water and all that great stuff. But I'm into oil pulling in the morning with my sesame oil. I do that for 5 minutes every morning. That helps detox, and it's actually great for gum health.
How do you do that?
You basically put a tablespoon of sesame oil or coconut oil in your mouth, and you pull it. You don't gargle it. You swish it around and pull it for 5 minutes.
Pulling just means swishing?
Yeah, you're swishing, but you're really pulling it in and out of your teeth.
Okay.
And then you spit it in the toilet, and I get the most compliments on how white my teeth are. That's the vein side effect, but I do it for gum health and also for it's awesome to help with detoxing. So I do that, and then I drink my ACV and lemon water, and then I have an infrared sauna right here at my house. Right here.
I saw that when we walked in. I was like, okay,
and that helps
really
that's a biohacking. That helps me with inflammation. I especially do that of my off days of workouts. I have a chi machine over here that basically aligns your spine. You put your heels in it, and it's great for the lymphatic system, and it shakes you for only 15 minutes. And it's for people that have a desk job. It's equivalent to about a 45-minute walk. It's like the vibrating kind of plate. So that's a really great biohacking thing. It's really great for lymphatic and metabolism.
Cool.
I also have changed out all my light bulbs to day bulbs and night bulbs to help block out the harmful junk light and the blue light, which I just did an interview yesterday about. I wear glasses that block out that light. That's what I got from Dr. McCullough and Dave Asprey. And then after I got back from his conference, I was motivated to get an infrared and near-infrared light, and I use that all over my body for sleep, adrenals. I do my thyroid every night for 20 minutes because I've been doing research with people that have slow thyroid and low leptin like myself, that the light in the combination with my glasses will help. And so it's amazing. And plus a gazillion supplements and stuff that I take. But those are some. And then I go to Korean spa once a month for scrubbing because our skin is our biggest.
Yeah, it's an organ.
It's an organ. Right? It's the biggest.
Yeah.
And
that's really exciting. I feel
that's a lot. I'm like on the extreme. I said that in my interview yesterday, and the man was like, wow, you're really extreme. There's a lot of little, but these are just simple little things at my house that I can do. And if I want to have a detox weekend, I have like a little detox weekend here.
I think it's so important. And I think it's becoming even more important because just the way that life is moving for all of us now,
so fast.
It's fast, it's busy, it's toxic in so many ways.
In our outside environment, I know.
It's gnarly. And, women like us who are just, we have several goals and we wake up every day with, a drive to attack them. And, it's a lot. It's a lot of weight to carry. And so, how do we nourish ourselves outside of food even to be able to keep going, but to not just keep going and be run down, because that's one thing that I do. It's interesting, there's a lot of quote unquote wellness people out there, right? And, they're legitimate wellness people, but, in this, like with social media and on the business end of things, to uphold a kind of, your presence and your business and a certain standard, it taxes your health. Ironically,
and right now it's doing that. That's why my voice is going out, because I know I'm getting a sign saying, slow your butt down.
Yeah.
Practice what you preach. Because I'll tell you another little biohack is I set my alarm for 2 p.m. every day, and my alarm goes off no matter where I am. Sometimes I forget why it's going off, and it's my self-acknowledgement pause button.
Oh.
And I stop and I take a breath, and I'll just acknowledge something, or take a breath, Amber, breathe, like stay present. It like kind of puts me back in the present moment, because I can spin by 2 o'clock, the shit I've gotten done by 2. I'm like, it's like bring yourself back down. So I feel like the other thing I wanted to say too about moving so fast and balancing all that is just get outside. And I have to remind myself, like, that is probably the easiest biohack and pause button for me, is just get some damn vitamin D.
Absolutely.
Put my feet in the sand.
Yeah.
Just put my feet naked in the grass, 15 minutes, just to do a reset, to slow down.
It's so important. I think I'm right there with you. Surfer, live in front of the beach. I have to touch nature in some way, shape, or form every single day. I actually frame nature as what's true in life. Like everything outside of nature is kind of like dreams that came to be. Someone imagined this building and then they built it.
Right.
And it's visions and it's all wonderful and it's all beautiful and it's all important. But to me, truth is nature. So I need to constantly be touching and connecting with that truth.
I love that. It's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, I totally relate to that.
You're doing it in your own way. And I think that's what helps, you as well as myself to stay so kind of grounded and present, because as, two people, in the wellness space, I know one thing. With everything that I'm building and everything that I'm doing, I am unwilling to become unhealthy as a byproduct of the quote unquote busyness that's going to come with it, that already does exist with it, you know? Because then there's a loss of authenticity.
There is.
And I don't, I actually feel that the most, to me, success is how many days have you lived present and authentic throughout your whole process. That's real life success to me.
It is. And that's why my 2 p.m. alarm, that is like, let's get back connected, Amber. Get connected.
That's a beautiful...
Be present. And that it's so easy, like you said, to just get so caught up in life and not, it's so easy to get distracted and be unaware and authentic. But I do have to say the lessons I've learned, I put those healthy boundaries for myself. I know I need self-care days. And even in the midst of chaos, I could work every damn day at the source. But I say no. And I think that's a powerful thing. I need quiet time for Amber. I need to go lay out in my backyard with my puppy. I'm turning off my phone. I'm putting it on airplane mode. That's like self-care. I'm going to go lay naked in my backyard and like that's it.
And get that vitamin D, girl, everywhere you need it.
Don't talk to like those, and that helps me reset. I have to have my resets because
I have to as well.
I have to have my resets. And
do you consider yourself an introvert, an extrovert, or maybe an ambivert, which is the kind of balance between?
I think I'm a balance. I'm definitely more extrovert. I mean, I'm like definitely the most hyper friendly Gemini. I mean that I want to meet people, but I definitely need my own Amber time, even in any type of relationship. That part of it is I need quiet time for myself to reset. Like, let me just go to the woods with Sadie for the day. And then
your dog.
Yeah, my dog. Yeah, that's my puppy, my sweet Labradoodle that saves me. Yeah.
You think puppy, you think small, but she's like so big and beautiful and fluffy. She's so cute. It's interesting because I think people would be surprised. I probably, if I took an actual quiz, would be an ambivert, just because I'm definitely not. I'm not shy, and I'm not really uncomfortable in large settings, but I'm like 90% introvert. I need, not only do I need my recharge time, but like that solitude is so important to what I find that it's done over, all the years of my life. I mean, I'll be, 40 next year in May. It just it allows me to have the voice within myself be so loud and clear, right? And so that solitude is so important because that fuels my creative process. It fuels, the nourishment that I need for myself. So it's,
I agree.
I'm definitely more of an introvert. Which
well, I feel introvert. I'm craving some solitude right now, and that's why I'm kind of on edge. Like, I'm going to take some solitude this weekend.
You are?
I am. Just for Saturday.
That's
before my family gets here and stuff. But
the holidays are coming up. So wait, okay, let's go into food again really quick.
Yeah.
What's Tell me what's 3 things I'm totally putting you on the spot.
No, that's okay.
3 things that you couldn't live without in the kitchen. It could be a spice, it could be a food. We'll leave tools out, but just
okay. I was going to tools. Let's see. So let's see. 3 things I can't live with. First thing for sure, I would say live without. I use coconut oil, the coconut oil family, and probably everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's savory or sweet. I think a good salt is really, really important. So I have it's a mixture of a pink sea salt. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite. And then, oh my God, this is hard.
I know, I totally put you on the spot.
What is something that keeps me, oh my gosh. I want to say like, I take avocados, they're always with me. I feel like they save me.
They're essential.
It's like it's
an food.
It's an essential. At the end of the day, if I'm slammed, I can grab my bag of beet chips and an avocado and
you're chilling.
But I would say, let's see, coconut oil, an essential, that my sea salt, and I would it's a tie between avocado or chlorella because I feel like that just keeps me really strong and I eat it every day. But that's more of a supplement. But I do put it in my food.
No, but it's so. I mean, there's protein in that.
Yeah, but right now, broccoli is my favorite vegetable. I air fry it every day. It makes me so happy with seaweed. I put dulce and kelp on it. It is my favorite with coconut oil and salt. See, that's it. I could have a meal every day. All I need is my organic raw broccoli. I can use that in my smoothies. Right, my coconut oil. I always have broccoli in the fridge. I never ever not have broccoli.
I love broccoli.
Ever in the fridge.
It's so good for your brain.
I eat it. It helps with my bowel movements. It helps with everything in my life. And actually, it definitely broccoli. That's it. Broccoli, sea salt, and coconut oil. You really could live every single day with those 3 things with some water. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. You're turning me. I've already looked up an air fryer several times on Amazon. I almost texted you once when I was at Bed Bath & Beyond, like, which one do I get? I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah, it's awesome if you live. It's amazing. Yeah,
because you could just put vegetables in there.
You just put them in there. I spray a little avocado oil and a pinch of sea salt.
Yeah,
done. Crispy. It's fast.
What do you think if you had three pieces of advice to give to people who right now want to make a big difference in their diet, with the intention of, creating a more healthy diet, a diet that feels good. what would be your 3 top things? It could be, to take something out, to add something in, a process. What would that look like?
I think one of the biggest things I always ask people is write down what in your life or what food is making you feel bad. I mean, you know that, right? Like say you get up and you drink 2 Cokes every morning, no judgment, and you feel, just start that list and start to just be, maybe just give one thing up. You don't, and that's the thing. It doesn't have to be cold turkey. So my first advice is like, write down that list of stuff. It could be gluten, dairy. It could be 100 things. Just pick one thing. That's my first advice. Second is, for me, how I started to make a change and what I help is it's all about planning. So plan. And it takes a lot of freaking work, you guys. But if you're going to be working a 12-hour day tomorrow in your office, what are you taking? What's your breakfast? What's your lunch? What's your dinner? What's your snack?
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying it has to be healthy stuff, but people either tend to starve themselves, graze, or then they make unhealthy choices.
Yeah.
But if you meal prep, or at least you go to the store and you even just get some prepackaged healthy food, at least start with planning's probably the first thing.
Yeah.
And then at least pick one thing that you can kind of eliminate from your diet that's not serving you well. And then the third thing is have balance and be easy on yourself when you're doing it. Like you don't have to do cold turkey.
Yeah.
I always recommend people to try to do some sort of liquid meal, and it doesn't even have to be a full liquid meal, but can you get a green juice in? Can you get a bone broth in? Can you get a smoothie in? Because we digest, so can you get just a soup, something? That's so much easier for our bodies to digest the vitamin, absorb the vitamins and minerals.
That's awesome.
And that doesn't have to be hardcore. That doesn't have to be hardcore either.
No. It's like the subtle changes that you can make. The pennies add up,
They do, and maybe for people wake up. The water in the morning is like a tip I always try to tell people too.
Yeah.
When they're making diet changes. I wake up, I'm so tired, and coffee is the first thing in their mouth. It's like, drink at least 2 glasses of water and then go on with your day, and you'll start to feel a little bit more, or drink water before your meals.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine just going straight to coffee in the morning.
Right.
There's I have 3
I know.
beverages that I love and I enjoy. For sure, apple cider vinegar, warm water, lemon or lime, cayenne pepper, pink Himalayan sea salt, and omega stevia.
Yum.
Every morning without fail. It's been the case for years, and it's and then there's 3 other drinks before coffee.
Totally.
But actually that moves us into, by the way, that's all rad stuff, and I think that the writing part, I've never heard anybody say that. I think that's really cool to analyze yourself and be like, what does this make me feel like? Just kind of food journal for a minute. Okay, today I ate, or even if it's something that you typically do often, like you said, if someone wakes up in the morning, the first thing they do is they're grabbing, a can of Coke and drink. Well, what does that make you feel like, afterwards, an hour afterwards, and just self-analyzation, and then, kind of create a plan from there of what to eliminate, because your body tells you.
Your body does, and like I said, to some people will have 20 plus things they want to cut out, but you can't. It's not realistic to do it all in one day.
Totally.
Cut out the dairy first if you think that's giving you an upset stomach. I mean, you can kind of figure out or maybe it's the processed foods. Maybe just start with that. It doesn't have to be everything.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. It doesn't have to be as extreme as Roxy and I.
I know.
We're very hardcore, but it took a while for me to get.
It took years.
It took years.
I stopped eating fast food in 1999. And, I still ate dairy after that. I still ate gluten after that. I mean, there was such a process, because that was a big one. I grew up eating Taco Bell. Same.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing that I think is so important, because, people do see us as really extreme, and that's kind of a challenge sometimes for me, because it's almost like people think, oh, well, I don't want to have to be this regimented, or there's no stress. It's all love in my life, the way I go about my diet, but it could come across as like it's so regimented.
Exactly.
But the thing is that it takes time, and I think that the more that you are patient with yourself and you just process of elimination, one thing at a time, like you said. For me, way back in the day, 1999. I'm going to cut out fast food.
Yeah.
And then, that led to so many other things after that. But I think that it's important to to be easy with yourself and not just, like you said, like don't just try and hit everything at once.
Exactly.
Because
it's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
No.
And thinking about the adding part, right? Like if you can add one green smoothie to your diet every day, you're getting the fiber, you're getting your, chlorophyll, the magnesium.
Exactly.
All that stuff is so important. So I love that you said that. I want to ask you about rituals. I know you kind of talked a little bit about it, but do you have any, daily rituals that, food and, beauty or like body wellness?
Oh, let's see. I am all about my rituals, you guys. I was like, there's not enough time in the day for all the stuff I do. The stuff I do, seriously. I feel like in the morning. Well, my first, I journal and I do morning pages from The Artist Way, Julia Cameron, amazing book. So I do that. I do get my prayer and meditation. I get connected. That is non-negotiable as I'm drinking my lemon water with apple cider vinegar. But before all that happens, you guys, I'm oil pulling with my with my sesame or coconut oil. So that is definitely a ritual that I do every single day. I do not start my day without, especially my meditation and getting connected. Yeah. What is something else that I do every single day? Well, my 2 p.m. pause thing, that's a pretty big commitment. That's kind of turned into a ritual. And then at my nighttime, you guys, this is a rule that I break, but an hour before I go to bed, I turn off that cell phone and get it out of my bed, get off social media, turn it on airplane mode, and just get back connected with myself and just quiet time and do some reading. Like, that's really important to me because I can go to bed checking emails and then I take get it out of
I'm making a sour face. I'm like,
I could always be checking emails. There's always an email. So I just turn it on airplane mode and
that's beautiful.
And that's like a huge thing. What is another? I have a ton of like facial. I have a whole skin thing that I do. I've got my infrared light that I put on my face every night. Mm-hmm. I do some like face exercises when I'm driving in the morning that helps like firm up my cheeks. And so I do these weird like things with my cheeks and like my voice and stuff to open up like my throat chakra. But I do this in the car because it's a little fun. I do it in the car. I do my throat chakra and then I do like these face exercises on my face. I'm sure people pass me on the road.
That is so funny.
What is that? But it helps with it's like, we work every other muscle in our body. Why would we think we wouldn't need to work our face muscles?
Totally.
So those are kind of some of, and I've got other more ones for women that I do. That I started to do. Yeah. So
you're hitting it from all angles. And I think, Black Belt Beauty, it's this trifecta of feel good, look good, and that lends to performing good, right? So when we feel good, that is definitely going to show. And then there's definitely things that we can do, from a physical perspective that, amplify the looking good part.
Yeah.
And when you've got those two elements just, on level 10, I don't know, man, I feel like you get better performance out of yourself in life, and
it's trusting yourself, trusting the process. But like you said, it all leads to better performance, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And of course there's like self-doubt and fear in my life, but it's great just to be able to like stop and push through it and get recentered and just,
I love that you said that because I was so curious as a business owner and someone who's just an artist who's constantly, creating and stretching basically into new territory. Even when you feel nervous, when you feel fear come in, what's your self-talk like and how do you push through it?
Oh man, fear. We all have fears. I feel like fears push me closer to what I want. I know that when I'm really, really scared, I need to sit down and I do a lot of journaling. Yeah. I get a lot out on paper. And, fears are really not facts. Fears is future tripping. It's anxiety. So I know it's not real. I let myself spin. One thing I've really learned, Roxy, is to allow myself to lean into it for a minute. Like, don't try to say, don't have the fear, Amber. You're being in fear right now. No, I'm just going to lean into it. This is really effing uncomfortable right now. And what am that's my intuition trying to tell me something like I'm not aligned, I'm not connected. Yeah. So then I get it out usually on paper. And again, I give myself, if I need the full day to kind of, be in solitude, then I can get out of it. I can choose to trust and be connected and choose to have faith in myself and know that, I mean, honestly, there's so many things in this world we can't change, you guys, that what's the option? I can either sit there and like be in fear of all these things I can't control or just like roll with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how the business I mean, we're having some challenges with our new location, and I was in so much fear around it. And I stopped and I was like, Amber, like, you can't control the electrical box 6 feet under. You can't control the 10 contractors that are arguing. Like, you can't control it. So I'm just going to ask for the best solution for everyone involved. And this took a lot of years to get this mindset. But knowing that universe has got my back. Like, I'm in my zone and in my flow, and challenges are going to happen. And when those challenges come, I think it's like just a sign. They're lessons. I don't like to call them problems. They're lessons of how I can tweak something. But it's all like trust in myself. But that took years of like, first I had to love myself.
Yeah.
To develop that trust, to know I've got this. And like, I call in I do this, I shared this at a women's conference, that I call in my divine queen energy when I'm feeling really like out of sorts or like insecure, tired, and just ask for that queen energy to come in, and I've got this. Like, I'm a divine badass woman. I love it. Or goddess, right?
Yeah, I have a similar...
Reminding myself of that.
That's so dope. There's a goddess, she's a Nordic goddess, Freya, and she kind of represents bold, right? So when I feel that I kind of evoke I do, little Lilith, power big goddess, time. A little Freya.
I love it.
I love that though. Yeah. I mean, you gotta, it's all, listen, if this is fucking brainwashing, then so be it. If it's elevating us and allowing us to kind of push past these points. I mean, starting this podcast, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, holy shit, as an introvert, you're putting yourself out there. Like, I'm sure fucking am.
Yeah.
Like, I know this is something that I have to do. Not because it's filling some void. It's because I want to do it. It's like people like you that I just love rapping out with. I mean, we're going to wrap this up because we can go on forever, but I'm so excited to do more with you. But it's also, it's this... it's not only a benefit to me that I get to sit here and listen to you unpack your process, but I want to be able to share it with people because I think that there's so much value in it. And I know that, for me as I love podcasts and I'm listening to them day in, day out, and they have advanced me in so many different ways.
I agree. Everybody shares their story. It's all about sharing our story, and maybe we'll touch one person. I know I get so many messages out of somebody else's authentic podcast or story. I love it's amazing spreading it. I mean, I know, it's so awesome.
It's so exciting.
It is exciting.
Okay, my last question for this episode with you is, what's exciting you right now in the realm of wellness that you can share? Like, is there anything that comes to mind that's...
I feel like for me right now, I'm really...
or even if it's food too.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing that I'm really excited about is the benefits I've seen from blocking out the blue light of my health. Like, I've really, really, really seen a difference in my sleep.
Sleep is huge.
It's huge. It's a huge, I mean, that's without sleep, it's ridiculous. I melt down. And then I think that, what else? That's like the biggest tool that in wellness or in health. And then with food right now, I mean, I've been on the chlorella kick for a long time, but it's just, I keep getting reminded that, I don't know, I need it every single day.
It's so I take it every single day.
Yeah, it just helps with all the heavy metals and stuff in our body.
It does, absolutely.
It does. And there's a ton of like food stuff I could go off on because it's really fun to experiment with like vegetables and use them in sub of fruit and stuff like that, and push the envelope with all that stuff. So.
Really? I'm all excited. I'm like, wait.
I basically use all frozen vegetables as ice cubes instead of fruit in my smoothie. So right now in my fridge, I've got 3 different types of sweet potatoes, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, avocado. Delicata squash is my new favorite one. It's amazing. And butternut squash, all in baggies. It takes a tremendous amount of work, but I get so off on making this huge smoothie bowl for breakfast with my protein powder and all my adaptogens, and it's like a little sweet, and there's like no sugar and there's no fruit. Not that I'm not saying you guys that fruit's bad. It's just sometimes for me, I need to take a break from fruit. It's just nice to not have that.
I make I've been doing this for a while and I love it so much, but a big green veggie bowl, frozen veggie bowl.
Yeah.
So it's basically veggie ice cream.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of frozen kale, frozen broccoli, frozen spinach.
So same idea as mine, yeah.
Same,
Amazing,
cauliflower.
Yeah.
And I always put blueberries because blueberries are so important.
They are.
They actually grow neurons in the brain and they switch on this, I'll get a little sciencey for 1 second, but they switch on this pathway in the body called the NRF2 pathway. And it's kind of like this major switch that it regulates over 200 genes that you want upregulated. So anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, it does DNA repair damage or DNA damage repair. And not only that, it tastes so fucking good. So I'll put blueberries in there and like acai, avocado, and it's protein powder. It's so good. This is the kind of stuff where it's like, people think that eating healthy is boring. I feel like I'm cheating right now on what? I don't even know. But
I know,
shit.
me too. It's so amazing. I know.
So good. I'm so excited. So we're gonna wrap it up so I can try whatever you made.
Yes, we're gonna try them. I made that. What did I make? I made a cauliflower pumpkin pudding out with grass-fed gelatin, and it's got baru nuts on top. It's got raw cacao and some ginger and some maca root and just a little coconut milk. But there's no sugar. I did use a little stevia with the protein powder.
I'm so
That's
excited.
it. So it's all veggies, you guys. Good fats. It's great for pre or post. Anyways, it's fun. It's probably not for everyone, but it's delicious.
Well, I think we should video because I want to record a little bit, and then you know they can see my reaction. Which, again, maybe I'm not the best example because I know I'm going to love it already. But I'm so excited, and can you? Before I wrap out and tell you how much I love you,
Thank
and
you.
I'm so excited.
This was so fun today.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Seriously,
Thank
you're
you.
so special. Can you tell our listeners how they can find you and stay up to date with you?
Yes, so I have a blog. You can go to chefamber.com. My Instagram handle is chefamberla, and then Facebook is Chef Amber. And Source Cafe is in Hermosa Beach, so if you live in the South Bay, please come and say hi. We're expanding into Redondo soon, 2018. So
I'm so excited.
Thanks you guys for listening. Thanks Roxy for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys, check her out. Stay in tune. And if you're hungry, I don't know, you might be careful with her Instagram account because it's so good. But it's super inspiring. So I would definitely recommend to stay updated with Amber.
Thank you.
I love you, girl.
I love you
Thank you
too.
so much. All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks for taking the time to check out this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please share it with your friends. Head over to iTunes, subscribe to this podcast, rate it, leave me an honest review. Let's connect. I'm so excited to do that in this space and really create content that elevates your mind in support of your best performance in life. You can find me on Instagram at blackbeltbeauty. I'm active there every single day, and I look forward to connecting with you all. So thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one.